this is the wrong one. There we go. Okay, I'm back. There we are. I know there's not many people up this beautiful Saturday morning this early, but I've been up for a couple hours now, and I was doing some research on the boy behind me, Giovanni Pelletier from North Carolina, visiting Florida. And so I figured I'd give you guys some updates because it was unclear. I started saying, okay, well, the cousins probably wouldn't be telling them where they, you know, um, dumped someone if that was the case. And I was reading my Manatee County because he was found here. And if you guys recall, hey, Don, good morning. It's nice to see you, love. If you guys recall, my initial impressions is he was in Mims. He was in Brevard County. What my initial, based upon the very limited information available, my first assessments was he went to Mims and most likely there. That assessment started changing when the Brevard sheriff did a press conference on this and said, look, we don't have any evidence to support he ever came here, like none. We've even searched the car, no viable evidence. And so that started changing my opinion and assessment because it's new factual information coming from a factual source. And so I started changing my assessment and started changing my theory. This stuff is a fluid situation, so your theories are always forever changing as new information is coming. So we went from this, I thought the cousins took them back to Mims. They got into an altercation. Something happened. It went too far. And they are saying that it happened in Manatee County to really throw the case off there. Well, all of these initial theories and assessments that, theories, I guess they're more theories or speculation, those were not supported. So as those start falling off and not being supportive, your theories have to change to support and comport with the new information. So Brevard Sheriff did give us some insight, and he said basically it's just the opposite. There's literally zero evidence that he ever made it to Brevard County. So that's when the theory started changing, which I just found that out early yesterday morning when I reviewed the Brevard County press conference on this matter. And if you guys would like to see it, I can't put it in here. I don't have it. Actually, I might be able to play it. I did watch it yesterday, so it would be in my history. So, Phil, it's nice to see you. Melanie, Libby, Jack, Football Mom, it's nice to see you. Aura, Sandwich, Don, Tracy, it's nice to see you. Linda, hey, hey, hey. Who else do we have? Tracy, Phil, and YouTuber. Good morning. I know it's going to be kind of a small crew this morning because I don't really go live at 7 o'clock in the morning anymore. We're probably going to start doing a morning show just because I'm up, and I wait until, I usually wait hours to start my show at 10. And if I can get another show in before 10, I might as well. So I think I'll start setting up the thumbnails throughout the week for our regular show, right? And then so you guys can make sure you're there for that, and then I'll keep keep the mornings open, so the mornings that I do have things to talk about, we can do mornings. Lisa B, always, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. Sabrina, good morning. It's nice to see you. So getting back to this, my theories started changing. We talked about it last night at the end of our show because we had some devastating breaking news. We found out that Giovanni was found. It's not official. Rick Wells hasn't. He's gone to the coroner, but the autopsy hasn't been performed. So the manner and cause of death has not been determined yet. What I can tell you is my sheriff here in Manatee County has reported that the cousin's statements weren't adding up. So I wanted to make sure I read this to you because I think it's important. I value my sheriff. Listen, I don't know other sheriffs personally like I know my own sheriff. So I know my own sheriff and how he works. And a lot of the reasons why you don't see me doing a lot of work in Manatee County is because I trust my sheriff. If I didn't trust my sheriff, I would be a looky-loo. Like, I'd be up my sheriff's craw. I'd be up my sheriff's, police. Do we have problems here? I'm not ignorant. Yes, of course we do. We are, we have people, human beings, which come with the human element, right? So comes with mistakes and the whole gamut. But I have faith in my sheriff. I don't always agree with my sheriff, but at the end of the day, I know my sheriff loves this county as much as I do. And I believe in him. And I believe that he will always make the right decisions for the benefit of the citizens here. And that's the now, until that, if I ever am jaded or lied to or something like that, that may change my stance on my own sheriff. But I have a good working relationship with my sheriff. I highly respect his work and his people's work. I've had problems with some of them. They've had problems with me, as you guys know. You guys know my story. But at the end of the day, I love law enforcement, and so I value the people here. I value what they have to say because I know their work ethic inside and out. And so this is hitting it in my back, at my back door. So the Manatee County Sheriff's Office said Friday that the body had been found not far from where the backpack of 18-year-old Giovanni his cousins threw him out in the middle of the night. Even I just want to say this disclaimer. I want to say this disclaimer, and I pray to God, if somebody's watching this and knows the cousins, I hope you guys clip this and send it to them. I don't care if it pisses them off. I don't care. Even if we find out that this boy drowned in that retention pond, this is their fault. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Who is the responsible party here? Whether there's a criminal element or not, shame on them. Shame on them. You do not leave a family member, let alone a family member, out of his state. You don't let them leave. Even if he wanted to get out of the car, somebody stays behind with them. This is all on you. Your hands are all over this, whether there's a criminal element or not. And shame on everybody that was in that car, that allowed this boy to get out of that car. If that truly is. Now, I'm telling you, my sheriff is making me caution myself on giving them a free pass, and we're going to get to that. So the body was found in a retention pond at the southbound off-ramp of I-75 and State Road 70. Now, again, I didn't even think this came into my backyard. I told everybody he's not here. He's most likely in Mims, and that was until yesterday when Brevard County said, nope, it's just the opposite. And I had to go back and relook at this, and I'm thinking, why in the hell would they pick him up and stay in that area and not try to drop him off before 1:30 in the morning? It just didn't make sense to me. But clearly that's truly what appears to have happened. So Manatee County Sheriff Rick Wells, that's my sheriff, said the body appeared to be that of a man, but identity of the person has not been confirmed. ABC 11 spoke with FBI experts about the likely process of investigation. Retired Special Agent Frank Brostrom said, unlike other missing person cases, knowing who was with who he was with and when he left gives investigators a good starting point. Normally, these kinds of investigations, you have somebody disappear, you have no leads. You don't know who was with them last. You don't know where they were last and what kind, and you're kind of starting from scratch. Since the cousins, I don't know why this is so hard for me to read. Since the cousins Gio were with had already spoken with investigators, any evidence they later find gives them a chance to compare with what the cousins claimed happened. They're going to do the phone work on everybody involved. Talk to witnesses, and they've got to get some leads, he says. the ABC 11 spoke to Gio's stepdad, Jerry Brown, on Thursday, who said while they were a little skeptical Gio going to the cousins he had met, he was excited to spend time with them when he left that night. So it sounds like they picked him up in the evening. We had our reservations, but we trust you. We trust you're going to look out for yourself. We trust you're going to be safe, Brown said. That's what he said to Gio, his stepdad. So they kind of they were a little fearful of this, which is really, they had this nagging feeling in the pit of their stomach. And he's 18, and they basically said, we love you. Just be careful. You don't really know these people very well. If you need anything, please call us. I'm sure like any normal parent, right? Law enforcement experts say part of the story from the cousin about Gio alleged erratic behavior isn't adding up. This is the first time that we're finally hearing a source close to the case say that this is not adding up. So last night I told you guys that this seems to be putting more weight into the cousin's statements that they threw him out of the car. And I'm still not off the fence with that. Everybody knows, because I told you I believe the cousins did it out of the gate, that I do have a theory, and I do believe that there is a possibility that the cousins did something to him, whether there was an argument that got out of control and something happened, or they utilized substances that he lost his life utilizing. I feel like there could be this element of partying associated with this. He was 18 years old. His cousins were coming down. This is the first time they're getting together. The hooting, the hollering, I mean, I've done that. I've got distant cousins that I haven't seen. When I went and visited them, that's what we did. We got down. We get downtown. And then Uber back uptown. No, I'm just joking. But, think about it. You and your own family. If you haven't seen family members, or you're just, what are you guys doing? You're hugging, you're getting to know one another. He's only 18, so he's probably not supposed to be drinking. But, how old are these cousins? Are they older cousins? Is this the first time he's gotten, fallen down drunk or something? Some people don't do that. And people don't realize, like, say for alcohol, if this was the first time, now he's 18 years old, his family, I mean, he looks like he comes from a great family. I didn't crop it right, but, for this side, because that's a landscape, but a happy family. They seem to care for him. I mean, listen to the advice his stepdad gave him as he was leaving to go hang out with his cousins. We love you, we can't keep you safe. What was the words he said to his verbatim? We have our reservations, but we trust you. We trust you're going to look out for yourself. We trust you're going to be safe. That's not that's a loving dad. It's a stepdad, but that's a loving dad, right? So he has a good family here. The idea that he may have had a couple drinks in high school is probably, high. But did he get falling down drunk? He looks like maybe he was, into the books and just a good, but I don't know. I could be completely wrong about this. But if it was his first time, say, getting, blackout drunk, you don't know how your body's going to react to that. Some people don't do well on alcohol and become very violent, very volatile, very uneasy, very obnoxious. You have a lot of different things that can go wrong being in a new element around new people and introducing some type of substance, whether it be alcohol or something more serious. And, if their story is correct, could that explain some of the erratic behavior in the car? But law enforcement is saying that they're not buying this story of this erratic behavior, that it sounds sus. So I'm still not out of this case yet. I was kind of more with a foot out of this case last night when I heard he was in the retention pond. He's near where the cousins said they dropped him off. I can see if he was under the influence of some type of alcohol or substances, but he might not have been able to swim. He's from North Carolina. People that I know from North Carolina are not the best swimmers. So Does he know how to swim? Is it a situation where he fell in somewhere and didn't know what to do? Could he have been walking? This is Florida, and I would think that if there were markings of alligators on him, that my sheriff would have brought that up, but it doesn't sound like that. It does sound like they found him in a retention pond. How did he get there? Not knowing where you're at and trying to walk, but it seems odd that he would go off. I mean, out there, this is my backyard, okay? I watched them rebuild I-75. I mean, they just went through here after we had the Olympics in Sarasota, whatever year it was, and they redid all of University Parkway to bring everybody into Benson Park. And so they've reconstructed even further down, down State Road 70, which is kind of near, literally, 20 minutes away, 20 minutes east away. But there's a lot of concrete out there is what I'm saying. You got the interstate, it's paved. You got the ramps, they're paved. The ramps go right off into State Road 70 going either east or west. And those are paved. So I don't understand how he could accidentally stumble into a retaining pond. Our retaining ponds are not blocked. They don't have fences around them, or some of them do. But for the most part, our retaining ponds are kind of open bodies of water, but nobody's supposed to be there. So again, I don't know how he would get in a retaining pond, because even if he was intoxicated, I would think that he would want to stay on the roads. I mean, even I've been intoxicated and lost before. Not a fun ordeal. But I didn't fall into a retaining pond around here. And I know for a fact I've probably been all over this county. So there are some things that aren't adding up. Does this mean the cousins are criminally responsible? It still doesn't. We're far away from accusation, but I will say that their behavior was 100% responsible for why Giovanni was in that retaining pond, whether it was just being pieces of shit or whether it was them doing, even worse, just being crappy people. How do you meet a cousin for a first time and just leave him on the side of the road in a place he doesn't know? Like what? Aw, Outer Banks, thank you, Love Bug. Outer Banks gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your Bullhorn Betty memberships, please don't forget to tell Outer Banks thank you. Thank you, Love Bug. But I mean, am I wrong here? I mean, I know that these kids are young, but I'm still not convinced, because it was their story that didn't make sense. That's that. And obviously law enforcement is saying, this is what they say. Their stories are in cement, and the investigators that's not it. There's more information here. I forgot to read the next part. I forgot about this. Law enforcement experts say part of the story from the cousins about Gio alleged erratic behavior isn't adding up. Here's another one. Adding that he pulled a knife on us, and then he's the one texting help. I need help. That story's not standing up. They're saying he pulled. Why would he take a knife? Does he look like a knife wielding guy? I mean, cut it out. Do we see an Edward Scissorhands here? The flip? I need my beat button in here. I forgot the beat button. Thank you, Lisa. God bless you. God bless you. Ride or Die BHB fan here. Through the weather sirens. Aw. Is it getting bad? So I just don't know. Now they're saying now that doesn't make sense. Now with them saying he's an altercation, like I'm thinking he's like kind of flipping out, telling us, just stop. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be. That's what the kind of erratic behavior that I was envisioning. And then I obviously stopped at that because the freaking next paragraph says he pulled a knife on him. There is no way I believe that this kid right here is out there with a freaking knife just ready to pull out. And if he did have one on him, it was for protection that he brought with him, specifically because he didn't know these people. You know, I mean, it's not unheard of. I used to carry a knife around in my back pocket every time I went to a bar. You know, I never had to pull it out just to let anybody know. That's all up my Kool-Aid, right? But I used a knife. I still have it. It's in my car. You know, it's in my car. I never know when I'm going to have to cut tie straps or other things, but I keep a pocket knife in my car. And it's the same one I used to take to the bar because I don't have any need for, I only need one. It's not like I'm an Edward Scissorhands either. But you don't see me carrying it around. I mean, it's a tool, right? So it stays in the car. But if I were to put it on my being, like say if I'm going out with somebody or I am going to a club or something like that, and I want to have a little something, yeah, I'll put that in my boot. I'll put that in my back pocket. But yeah, that's only for the woods. That's only for the woods, and it goes over my shoulder. But I put one in my back pocket, you know. Even sometimes when I'm out there on the trails, because I mean we did just get the Machete July of last year, and that was we've been looking, you know, when waiting for that since we started out. It was one of the very first things I ever put on my wish list was the Machete, and it was just after 3 years that was just a treat. That was just a treat. A special treat, and the person that bought me that doesn't even know how special that particular treat was because it literally was the very first item on our wish list, and it was because of the Summer Wells case. We were in those backwoods, you know, in those hollers, and it's thick, you know. I'm sorry, but when you need to get some stuff cleared out, you just need to get some stuff cleared. You got to walk a path, you know, and when the path is obstructed, it takes you can whack it down, or you can take the time to, you know, have to crawl through it. I want to whack it down. I don't got time to crawl, you know. We're busy people. Busy people are out there searching, doing God's work. When I used to walk a lot, I carried, yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things. So if he did have it on him, it's not something like, I mean, I go out with people all the time, right? It's not like when I go to the BLCC, I'm not packing. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see this young boy right here with a freaking knife on him. Like, you know, he wasn't preparing for battle. He was prepared to go hang out with his cousins. So I get the whole knife thing. His parents were like, what? A knife? They're probably looking at each other, where the hell did he get a knife? You know? I mean, think about it. So we all know that, I mean, right out the gate, the cousins were very sus, and now we're getting the reports. They did find him last night. They're not confirming the identity 100%, but when my sheriff says it's him, okay? He's got no reason to lie or mislead anybody, so we're just waiting confirmation, that's all. He hadn't been gone long enough where, you know, my sheriff would not be able to identify him. So I know that they were going to be doing the proper process, but it is what it is. But this case is nowhere over yet, guys. I know everybody's in there hashtagging Machete, karate. That was classic. We love the ease. I'm telling you, we love the ease. They are such the most down-to-earth people, but they have such a great sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? And they bring the sense of humor like literally PG, but it's still hilarious as you all get out. You know? And guys, I do want to tell you, if you guys haven't noticed, please stop tap dancing Lizzie. It's nice to see you, lovey. I hope you're doing well. If you guys haven't noticed, they still need a lot of prayers. So please just, you know, keep their family in it. They're going through some significant struggles. I'm sure you guys know, they've talked about it publicly, about, their son, their middle son. He's been really struggling health-wise, and it's been very, very tough for them and their family. So they can always use prayers. If you guys think of them, tomorrow's Sunday. A lot of you guys are going to be going to church. If you guys can keep their family in your thoughts and prayers, and always remember, you can pray without it being Sunday. And I know that all of us know that, but Mr. and Mrs. E, they bring a lot of great information and a lot of just kindness. They're just very kind, warm people in the flesh, the whole family. They're just great people. And to think that they're struggling the way that they're struggling is just, it's heartbreaking. And they still come and they still, enjoy life. They still provide us insight into theirs. And they're still just very genuine people. So just a big shout out to the E family. And that was all kicked off just by remembering the Machete karate, because it was just a classic. I don't know. It's just a classic. I don't think anybody's going to be able to top that. That's going to go down in the books of history here. It's not a group you want to be in. My child has C. I pray for them. It changes who you are. Yeah, Gina, it does. It does. It's hard. It's hard. And their whole family, I mean, they're, believe it or not, they're just predisposed to the cancer gene. I mean, a lot of people in their family have had it and have recovered from it, which is good. But you guys know how it is. I mean, this family's been so lucky. I gotta think in the back of their heads, they're thinking, is this going to be it? Is this going to be the time? And we don't want them like that. So we just want to uplift them in prayer, keep them positive, even when those negative thoughts start, wheedling their way in. We want to, pray that, we keep those thoughts out, we keep those thoughts out. I think that's the one thing that I've ever heard Sonia say she absolutely hates. And I believe her. And I can tell you, Sonia and her sweetheart, she doesn't hate anything. She hates cancer. She absolutely hates cancer. So what a sad realization. Law enforcement, we're not buying the cousin's story yesterday. I said when he fell into the pond, this is giving more weight to their story. I'm still undecided, but with law enforcement saying that, and the knife? Let me ask, we've got enough people in here. We've got 148 people in here this morning. Raise your hand if you think that this kid was wielding a knife. All right. Well, let's just go with that. We'll go with a different question next. If you believe this kid was wielding a knife, put a 1 in the chat. If you think there's no way this kid was wielding a knife at his cousin's, put a 2 in the chat. What does it say? Do you go through crime in your area only, or just subbed and like the channel? No, I don't. Camden, I don't. Honestly, I don't really cover stuff in Manatee County too much. If there's a missing person, I'll go out and help. But if there's crime, unless I feel like my sheriff's not doing his job, I've never had to really cover too much crime here. Do we have some unsolved cases? I'm sure we do. I probably could, look into those. But for the most part, our high profile cases, I mean, my sheriff's got a pretty decent batting average. Not that he's perfect. I mean, nobody is. Not that our sheriff's department is perfect, but it's good, I'm sure there's some bad apples in my department. I'm not ignorant to the fact that we have the same problems every other police department, sheriff's department, counties deal with. Yeah, but crime is the main part. Yes, we cover crime all over the country. I would say I'm most notable for, going, front and center on these scenes, but we haven't been out and about. I mean, we haven't been from a front door in about 2 years, and we will get back into it. But we're just going to settle the issues out here so we can do our jobs safer and make sure that when people cross the line, they're held accountable. That's where, because my job, when I'm out there on the streets, my job is very dangerous. We cover cases that people lose their life. We're approaching people that could have lost, been the one that lost their lives, and obviously the murder or the suspects. So our job is already dangerous enough because we're pretty ballsy, and then we have the element of these hate channels trying to antagonize these people that most likely have already murdered somebody to try to harm us. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous practice, and we're going to start calling it out every time we're from the front scenes, and we're going to start holding these people accountable for, causing life-threatening threats while we're out there. And so we're getting smarter, but until we get certain things in place around this country, it's unsafe. It's unsafe, but we'll still keep going front side. It just needs to be, I just can't be by myself. Olivia's in North Carolina. She's been in a relationship, as many of you guys know. We've kind of tried to keep as much of her personal life out of the spotlight, but now she's in a good place where she's ready to start moving in a different direction in her personal life. And what kind of friend would I be if I didn't support that? And so I know there's a lot of rumors going on online about that, but that's the reality of the situation. I love my friend. We've traveled the country together. We've done some epic shit together. She's young. She still wants the family and the children, and unfortunately, you're not going to be doing that gallivanting across the country. So at some point, Olivia is going to have to slow down a little bit, and start looking at different steps in her life. And I couldn't be more proud. I don't think she's going anywhere. I think this is a step in the right direction. Yes, she wants a lot of children. So I think she scaled that back a little bit, but yeah, she wants a lot of kids, and she wants me to be a babysitter, and I told her I would. I'm happy to, I love children, and I'm happy to fill them up with sugar and send them home with a bullhorn, all 10 of them. I think she might have decided to look at another sitter. I can't understand why, I don't understand why, but I gave her the rules a long time ago, so she is aware of the consequences if she needs to call. I just want to remind her. So you guys hear her complaining about 10 children jacked up on sugar with bullhorns and clappers in their hand. I'm just saying, I'm the gift that keeps on giving. I think she scaled that back. Yeah, it was a lot. It's a lot. She actually, I think if she could have a baker's dozen, she would. But like I told her, you got to remember, they're cute and cuddly, and until those car bills and college bills come in, and then that's when you start banging your head. I hope you are a budget friendly woman. That's all I'm saying. Because budget's going to be your friend. It's going to be your next best friend for the next 30 to 40 years. Yeah, so it's just, it is what it is. All right, so you guys got the lowdown on Giovanni, and so we'll keep looking at this. I know there's some other cases, but because I was kind of, this sounds like, to me, after I found out he was in the retention pond, it kind of, I started putting some things together on what we know, taking the cousin's word as true, because you got to look at the case as if they're saying it truthfully. So you got to look at it from their standpoint. You got to look at it from other theories and just other perspectives. So when you look at the cousins and their statement with the backpack being on I-75, him wandering up into the retention pond, the only way that scenario makes sense to me is if there was drugs or alcohol involved in this scenario somewhere, period. That's the only way any of this makes sense to me. There's another element here. Um, is how do we know that, he didn't know these cousins very well, and much like some of my cousins are pretty footloose and fancy free, especially my distance cousins that are, in Polk County. They were quite wild, and they had the propensity of robbing and jacking people. They were on substances. Um, that was just their lifestyle. My parents didn't want us around them. We didn't really go around them. Um, but at family reunions, you can't really stop the family from coming. So I do know that part of my family, but again, this is a boy that didn't really know these people, didn't know where they came from, didn't know their lifestyle. Could they have been very similar to my cousins, where my cousins were pretty wild? My cousins were very protective of me, even my crazy cousins. Very protective of me. I feared nothing whenever I was with especially my crazy cousins. Feared zero. I pity the fool. My cousins were crazy. They were just crazy. I felt very protected. I'm just gonna say I could have danced on a freaking tabletop on my head and nobody would have said boo to me. Just say it. I'm just saying. But you never know, because it could have been just the opposite, where my cousins were absolutely crazy, and when they had an opportunity, they put their crazy on me. It could have been a flip to that. I mean, of course, me being young, I never thought about the other side of it. I only thought about the fun side of it. But what if he didn't get that fun side? And so now we have to look at it from a perspective where these people just met this boy that night and they're tossing him out of the car in the middle of nowhere. Who does that? That doesn't make sense. And you're trying to convince the police that it's because he pulled this boy. In my opinion, if he pulled out a knife, now I'm not saying he didn't. I'm a little kind of, okay, why is he bringing a knife? But like I explained, if I felt unsafe or didn't know what elements, I would probably have a knife. When I was going to the bars all the time, and when I always had a knife on me, in my back pocket, in my pocket, I always carried a knife on me. So, but why would I carry a knife? Because just in case some threat came. I was going to a bar to have cocktails. The bars I went to weren't very, they weren't, the Ritz Carlton. I'll just tell you that, okay? They were a little rougher than that. They were the kind of bars that you could beat the shit out of each other, throw each other out the frickin' door. 15 minutes later, everybody walk in with black eyes and grab a beer and be okay. Those are the kind of bars that I was in, okay? So whenever I went out there, I carried, okay? I carried a knife. I didn't carry anything else, just for all the idiots out there. But that's just it. So if he brought one with him, that means he brought one with him just in case, for protection. Again, I've been at many rough bars, never had to pull my knife out, not once, ever. Ever, ever, ever. And you guys know the lifestyle I lived. So that says a lot. So the only way this boy would have pulled that out is if he felt threatened. I don't see this boy just I'm sorry. I don't need a lot. I judge people, I judge people good and bad. And I don't think anybody in this chat can believe that this boy right here is pulling out a knife in a freaking car. Doesn't make sense. So getting back to that, so now we know that the cousin's story isn't making sense. So, excuse me. So did they just throw him out there? Because he didn't want to pay for gas or something. Their story isn't making sense because something more went on. Even if he did get out of the car, even if he walked into that retention pond, I don't believe the story as it is being told to law enforcement. And I think law enforcement has the same problem with it. So I'm going to keep following this case and updating this case because I have to now follow this case. And the reason why I have to follow this case is because the initial assessments were absolutely wrong. And so in order for me to learn from my own mistakes is following the case through and finding out where I made my mistakes in the beginning. And that's it. I didn't believe he was here. I didn't, I thought he went to MEMS. I wasn't paying close enough attention to different details. So, but I need to identify where my initial assessments went wrong. Because my initial assessments in this case was 100%. I don't think I had, well, I shouldn't say 100% wrong. I would say probably 65% wrong. That's really bad. So, you're not. Oh, good gracious. Go find something to do. I don't even know. That's just ridiculous. You don't have anything better to do this morning. Well, it's nice to see you. I'm glad I'm the first thing you think of when you wake up in the morning. If you guys didn't know who that asshole is, that is, I'm going to call it BS for bullshit. Because that's exactly what that man from South Carolina is exactly. He's bullshit. An electrician that used to have a decent career. And now he just picks on white women. A little bizarre, if you ask me. But whatever. Do you, babe? Do you? I'm still in Florida, and guess what? Still never gone to your channel. But you're always still over here watching me. I want to know, BS. Mr. Bullshit, can you tell, oh, never mind, you can't tell me anything, you're blocked. I forgot. How do you like to be put in the corner and made to shut up? I bet you Bullshit is right there behind the screen trying to make 15 million other accounts so he can come here for his little 5 seconds. Oh, I don't like you, BHB. I don't like you, BHB. I'm full of bullshit. But I don't like you. I like stalking people. I like going real life. But I don't like you because you stand up against it. And you won't let me speak and belittle you in your chat. And I don't like that. Because I'm a whiny little bitch from South Carolina that can't even get a full-time electrician's job. You know what? As a journeyman, I bet you I could get a full-time electrician's job here making more money than you, boo-boo. Damn, that's a shame. Damn. I understand why you're so angry with the world. I really do. Must suck to be you. I'll continue and enjoying my life in my paid-off house, not having to live with my mommy and daddy. Okay. That's gonna piss him off. Sonya, be prepared. He's gonna start being disrespectful to you again. Put on the armor. Here we go again. Oh, it just doesn't have the same sting anymore. We laugh at you. So that's where we are. And no, I do not have misinformation. You know what misinformation is from the illusionist, the biggest illusionist in our chat right now. While he's sitting there, he's probably laughing, eating his pissy Cheerios. And he's so angry. Quit stalking white women, okay? I'm sure your mother would not be happy with you. So, have a great day. Go find God, if you even know what God is. If you haven't learned, there's a Bible at the dollar store. I'm sure you can afford it. If you can't, Sonya, the woman that you've been so nasty to and mean to all these years, I'm sure she'd be happy to send you one free of charge. And believe it or not, the package will have all these beautiful missing faces peppered all over it. If you'd like to, send Sonya your address, she'll make sure you get that. We'll send a little extra treat in there just for you too. I'm just saying. because we're such great friends and all. Idle hands do devil's work. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can be a builder, you can be a destroyer. And we learned that from Seth because that's what he instilled in his son, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And what you see with BS, he's a destroyer. That means he is radioactive. We stay away from destroyers. Why? Because we are builders. We like to inspire people. We like getting people out there. So, all right, guys, that's all we have for Giovanni. I'll be back a little later. Well, probably much, much, much later. I'm going to be packing up now. That's why I went ahead and rolled this morning with the Giovanni case. Now, we have a couple more cases where Jaden's case is, I'm pretty sure it's Jaden. Jaden's case, I'm not feeling too confident with that. I'm not feeling too confident with the whole story. I know some people are looking at it. Apparently, he lived with his grandmother prior to where he's living now. Some people are speculating if he did leave, maybe he left and went to his grandma's house or tried to go to his grandma's house. But then that's still telling me that he's having issues inside his own home. And if that were the case, then I'm going to be, starting to look at the people in and around this child's life. It didn't look like they were, another place that seems like it's in a rural area. So I'm not sure what's going on here in these rural areas. Feel like the cousins just staged their staging. It's possible. I've never trusted the cousin story, but I always thought they made it back to Brevard County too. And that was why did I think that? And it tanked my assessment because I made that, I don't know. I just need to monitor this case because I got to find out why I wasn't so wrong. I mean, I think we're all sniffing around the same people. It was just my initial assessment. I was too close-minded at the beginning. And I don't like that. And I have to figure out why. Was it arrogance? You got to put yourself in check. You got to figure out why. So we made a mistake here. I made a mistake here. And I got to figure out why the mistake was made. It's not a group you want to be in. Oh, yes, yeah. Okay, I must have went up a lot further than I thought I did. The cousins gave him a knife and told him to rob someone. How did you hear that, Karma? I mean, that would explain the introduction of the knife. But why would now come on. Anybody in their right mind think that this kid is, what? I just got that. I must have went up way farther than I thought I did because I'm way back up where we were doing the poll. Till I see proof, yeah. He doesn't set off any spidey senses. I had to fix my sensor, just Edgar broke it. Well, maybe that's my problem. Maybe we need to recalibrate ourselves. Recalibrate. First time I heard of this young man. Well, he's from my best friend brought this story to me on Wednesday, and when I did my preliminary review, in my opinion, he's in Brevard. It wasn't until yesterday I saw the Brevard sheriff do a press conference on this case, and he says, look, we hear what people are saying on social media, but it's not true. As a matter of fact, the evidence is suggesting otherwise. He never made it here. He never stepped foot in this county. And so that was the change. And once that changed, but we all know how social media is, and so I took a rumor and applied it as fact in the scenario. But the question is, why would I have done that? Because I try to take care. But again, I'm human. I make mistakes. I just don't like when I make a mistake like that because, in all fairness, if I had known the backpack was on I-75 and State Road 70, I would have got on some boots and went back there and started checking the ponds. Because unless I'm stepping foot on a crime scene, my sheriff's not going to say shit to me. Okay, if I'm not breaking the law here, my sheriff stays out of my business. And so we would have gotten back there fairly easy and did whatever we needed to do. But I had a misguided assessment, so we need to figure out what it is and make it a lesson learned. I don't know how I managed to go up that far. Sonia, I have a Bible and rosary. I pray every night. Aw. I'm waiting for T-Rex to get his spirit box out of the pawn shop. Oh, you crack me up. You crack me up. Oh my goodness. T-Rex. I love it. It's been a good week though, with getting Devil's Den Man and Austin drumming two psychos off the street. Yeah, but let's face it, Austin should never have been on the streets, but for the laws in Tennessee, right? Everybody gets a bond. How's that working out for Tennessee? So either increase your minimum bonds, or have options for no bonds for violent crimes. You have to see a judge to get a bond if you're a violent offender. Why not reasonable legislation in the state of Tennessee? Like, what the flip is wrong with this state? It's reasonable laws. I mean, is it that tough to pass freaking reasonable laws? I can't. Just want reasonable laws. Like, I think people should be safe in their state. I have a problem with people not being able to be free and safe in their state. It's the most basic taxpayer-funded program. Safety. It is literally the foundation of our country and our tax system. Was our roads and our law enforcement. Where the taxpayer became on setting up parks for everybody to play at and doing all this other crap, that was not what our taxes was for. Our taxes should be strictly for government stuff, infrastructure, not pet facilities. I'm sorry, anyways, we're going to skid off our political soapbox. I've got a channel for that now. If you guys didn't know, I have a channel. It's Betty for President. It's on TikTok. I have an outlet for my political causes, so I'm going to go over there and politically rage. I don't... They haven't booted the channel off TikTok. TikTok is one of the easiest places to get booted from. So the way I look at it is I'm doing not raises for struggle. Exactly, Sandwich. Exactly. Now we're it's ouchie, baby. Oh. Anyways. All right, guys. You guys have a great day. I'm going to start getting ready and heading over to my best friends. I don't know. I might just get back to bed. My BFF might have to wait until a little later this morning. I've been up since 5. I'm exhausted. I've been reading all this stuff. I feel like every step of this particular case has been misguided for me, and I don't know why. So I got to figure it out and figure out where am I being steered wrong at? And I have an idea where it is. I'm not going to say it publicly just yet, but I have a slight idea where my problem is. Slight idea. So once I confirm that, I will tell you guys, and you guys will probably laugh at me, and that's okay. I pray every day everyone has a safe and blessed day. Thank you, Sonia. You too. Oh, shoot. We have winners. We got 3 new names. Let's see if somebody's in the chat this morning. We got 3 new names. All 3 people for the coffee cup yesterday were not in chat. And the only rule is you have to be in chat when your name is called in order to get your prize. So on the giveaways. So I had Sonia send me 3 new names. But you guys are going to have to wait a second because now I'm on the phone that the names were sent to. So I've got to pause you, go over to the names, get the names, and then come back over here. I know, Rod, but the worst part about it is all of you folks that are from overseas, you guys will never be able to get, unless I order something. I think maybe Teespring. I think that would probably be the only one that I could send something out. But overseas, guys, the shipping to get you guys stuff is astronomical. So unfortunately, it kind of kicks you out of any giveaways. But I think we can come up with something different for our, people that aren't from the States, from other countries. Adelson's drama. I'm on the Adelson's drama. Well, Jamie, I don't know. I haven't. That name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure why it's not ringing. Yeah, too expensive. I don't. Yeah, but it sucks because I think we should have some more reasonable worldly traveled mail. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You guys should be able to get stuff from us without it being. I think we should. Maybe private citizens should have standard shipping rates for international, since everybody's charging everybody tariffs. Like you can, stick it to the, a different government. Like can't like Ireland. Can't Ireland pick up our shipping tab for us, please? I sent a bracelet to Canada yesterday for $35. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is, yeah, but if you want it there, you got to pay the money, but damn, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. All right, so hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull up the names. I'm going to try to grab them. Hold on a second. Alicia Hot Wheels. Is Alicia Hot Wheels in chat? Hot Wheels is the name that is in chat. Is Hot Wheels in chat? Give you a few more moments. Shipping can get crazy. Yes. She's not here. Up. Okay. Hold on a second. Oh, I know who the next one is. Mama. MAMAW. Is Mama in the chat? 4 small pieces of Scotch filet steak, $39. Okay, last one. I know who's getting the coffee cup because I know she's here. I know she's here. Melanie, you are the winner of the Bullhorn Betty coffee cup. You are, yes. So Melanie, you got the coffee cup. So get with Sonia. Sonia, you'll get with me. You know what I need from you. Yes, all right, Melanie. Congratulations. Congratulations. You get a Bullhorn Betty coffee cup. So I know she's going to be super, super stoked. Congratulations. Yes. All right, guys. Well, you guys make it a great Saturday. Melanie's already starting off with a pretty big smile on her face. So, Sonia, just send me a text. We'll get everything. And Melanie, get a hold of Sonia. Pick your coffee cup out. I'm sure she's got a few, or if you have any ideas, she's a custom lady. She can make you whatever. All it needs to be is BHB branded. That's it. All right, guys. I love it. Rock it out. I love you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless, guys.